Welcome to Motors and Medicine. On today's episode, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Actually, I had a subscriber request that I go over this. So what I'm going to be doing today is going over the GOAT modes in my Bronco, as well as the hero switches, which are on the dash. I'll show you that in just a minute. So as you guys might have seen in a previous episode, I covered the fact that I have all 8 GOAT modes on this particular Bronco because I was able to use a program called ForeScan, where you download the program ForeScan and then you get yourself an OBD2 dongle that you can connect between the port in your vehicle and the computer and open the program, and it lets you change certain parameters in the computer on your vehicle. In this case, what I did was I added all the GOAT modes to be active because they're all there. You just need to have them turned on or turned off. And so every Bronco comes from the factory, even the base Bronco, with all the GOAT modes enabled, capable, I should say, and they're just not enabled from the factory because you bought a lesser model. So no Bronco has all 8 modes active all at once. Most Broncos have either 4 or 5 on the base model, up to 6, 7. And I think the highest trim level, like the first editions, Wild Tracks, have 7 GOAT modes. However, if you use or download the ForeScan program, you can actually get the GOAT modes all active just by, pushing a couple of buttons, and then it unlocks all the GOAT modes. So I'm going to run through the GOAT modes right now. Hopefully you guys can see them. I've got the screen split, so I'm going to just kind of twist here so you guys can see what's what. All right, I know it's kind of hard to see, but that first mode is normal. The second is Eco. The third is Sport. The fourth is Slippery. The fifth is Mud Ruts. The sixth is Sand. The seventh is Baja. And the 8th is Rock Crawl. So I'm going to be trying out just normal mode. All right. And as you can see, when you shift from the different modes, it'll go, depending on the mode, it'll go into either 4 auto or 4 high, whatever the case might be. You have to be stopped to be in 4 low, but 4 high can be switched by just changing your GOAT modes. And then 4 auto, which is like all-wheel drive, which will drive the front wheels on demand. You'll have that in both Slippery and in Sport mode. Now, one thing of note, this vehicle, for as big and heavy as it is, actually handles quite well. And when you put it in Sport mode, the front tires pull when you're going into a corner. So you can actually take this and throw it into a corner relatively quick, I should say, and it actually grips pretty well. It pushes and it pulls at the same time in the corner, so you don't really get a ton of body roll. So that's pretty impressive right there. The next thing I wanted to go over was just the hero switches, so I'm going to show you guys real quick. Here are the hero switches. You've got the front locker, rear locker, trail turn assist, and then traction control off, and then you've got the hazards. So what I'm going to try to do right now is actually see if this, how well this trail turn assist works. To do that, I'm going to show you guys here the switch that does the GOAT mode control, and I'm going to put it in, I'm going to push it into 4 low. Let's see. I think I've got to be in neutral. Okay, so now I'm in 4 low. And then what I'm going to do is test out the trail turn assist. So I'm going to push the trail turn assist button up here. Now you can see that that lights up and it's on, and we're in 4 low. And then all you have to do is just put it in drive. And what I'm going to do is just lock the wheel. And what trail turn assist does is it basically locks the inside. So if you're turning left, it'll lock up the rear inside, or the rear driver's side rear wheel. It'll lock it up, allowing it to kind of pirouette. And the same thing happens if you're going right. It'll lock the rear right passenger's wheel so that you can pirouette that way. So we're gonna see how well this works now. You just have to give it gas, and you can see that we're just spinning around. So we're actually doing pirouettes here, which is super cool. You guys can see how that works. That is super, super cool. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is pop it back into neutral and get out of this mode. I'm going to put it back in 2 high. And you guys can see there it's shifting in progress. Advanced track back on. And trail turn assist was turned off. All right. So now I'm going to test out the mode of doing, I'm going to do sport mode, just because it's actually a clear day. It's freezing outside, but it's a clear day. So we'll go into sport mode, and you're going to see it's going to go into 4x4 shift, but this is actually putting us in what's called 4 auto, as you can see there, and that's all-wheel drive. And now I'll put it back in drive. And you can actually shift on the fly. You can shift into slippery and sport, several of the modes. Mud ruts, sand, rock crawl, and Baja. I think 3 or 4 of those modes you need to be, well, let's see, I'm trying to think. Rock crawl, mud ruts, and I think those 2 have to be 4 low, so you have to be neutral to switch those modes. But the other modes you can do shift on the fly, because it's just going to either do 4 high or 4 auto. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to set you guys up here on my, there you go. And we're going to give this a ride here. We're going to see how well this thing goes into corners. And like I said, this machine's been really fun to drive. In sport mode, it really pulls hard. And it never feels like you're gonna slip. So what I'm gonna do here is just gonna kind of go into a tighter corner and see how well this thing works. Got a vehicle in front of us going really slow. Granted, I like to go faster than I probably should. But like I was saying, in sport mode, this thing, it's kind of like having an all-wheel drive, like twin turbo, vehicle, like a sports car, I should say. I mean, I know it's kind of weird to say that because this is such a big, heavy, high center of gravity vehicle, but I am so impressed with the handling characteristics of this vehicle in sport mode with the 4 auto. It's crazy how well it handles. So we're doing about 40 right now, and yeah, I can't really demonstrate it because this car's still in front of us, but what I'm going to do is pull off the road here, and I'm going to turn around. All right, and I'm going to head back to the house. All right. Here at 35 miles an hour, I've entered this corner, and now I'm doing 50, 60, just like that. I mean, this thing just pulls, and it's because you've got that all-wheel drive, so the rear wheels are pushing, but the front wheels are pulling. So even though this thing's heavy, it just pulls right where you need it to pull, and it just handles incredibly well. So I'm really blown away by this. But I thought you guys might enjoy just a little sample of how well this thing does, how quickly it can react, and of course how the modes work, at least the ones I demonstrated, and of course how well the trail turn assist works, and how it does such a great pirouette. No matter where you are, the idea behind the trail turn assist is when you're out on a trail, or anywhere for that matter, on any trail turn assist will work anywhere, including on pavement. But if you needed to do like a super sharp turn and you just have too many obstacles in the way, you can just throw on that trail turn assist, and it just lets you pirouette around obstacles so that you don't have to do a 5 or 10 or 20 point turn, which is super nice, super handy. I used it when I was on the trail in Moab. It came in handy. But there again, it's just one of the many options that this thing has. And if any of you have a Bronco or are looking to get a Bronco, don't feel like you have to buy the upper trim levels, because you can get all of these capabilities by unlocking all the GOAT modes just by simply using ForeScan. So hopefully this video demonstrated some of the capabilities of the vehicle and kind of the things that are really easy to achieve and the fun that you can have. Well, like always, please like and subscribe, and that'll help the channel grow. And then on our next video, we're going to be getting back into the medicine, and we'll see what I end up talking about on that next topic. So until then, this is Motors and Medicine signing off. Have a good one.